Yeah, I feel like someone has beat the energy out of me after moving.
It's the worst.
It is. It's the worst. It's
Like-
freaking terrible.
You know, what if there was this? Well, I don't know. Should I wait to? I'll wait to hold my opinion until you actually talk about it because I just had a new thought of a.
Oh yeah. No, hold it.
Okay.
Hold it. Because here we go.
We are friends from Craigslist.
Woo! Ooh, that was fire! Yeah.
What's up, podcast? Welcome to episode 8. Thank you for watching. Please continue to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, and you can watch us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All of the links are in the description below. What up, Grace?
How we doing?
Chilling, dude. It's been a crazy week. I moved.
Whoop, whoop.
That's why the scenery looks
Now,
different.
folks. This is like a big deal.
Oh, God, I know.
Has been in the same New York apartment
8
for
8 or 9 years now. Since, I can't do math, but since 2012,
a single
2011.
apartment longer than he's been in any relationships.
For real. Dude, I'm thinking about adding like audio effects into this just to make it exciting. Yeah, dude, I've been there since like 2012 and I moved, and it's so weird to be in a new apartment. And like it's good. It's exciting. It's like a cooler apartment than my last apartment. But oh my God, it's so weird. Like the first night sleeping in it, like you think you're supposed to be exhausted after you move and all that, but it was like not the best night's sleep.
Oh yeah, because you're like uncomfortable. It's like all new sounds, new like just feels. Oh, it's so different.
I still heard some sirens, so I was like, all right, cool. It's just like 14th Street, just up like 20 blocks. So we're fine. And I didn't go very far.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. When we like moved out to the suburbs, I like couldn't sleep because it was too quiet. Like I did not know if there was none of that ambient crackhead screaming at 3 a.m. that just soothes you to sleep. Like
dude, it's a thing. Like now, like even when we went for Hope's friend's wedding, it was up in like Rochester, New York, and it was so silent. It was like I couldn't sleep.
Unreal.
It was so silent.
Yeah.
Also, we went to. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so I fancy myself like I'm good at booking accommodations, if that makes sense. So like I'm good at like
We're gonna cut just I fancy myself and make that a loop of just saying I fancy myself. I fancy
myself. Well, fancy myself.
I fancy myself. Good. Okay. Good at accommodations.
All right. So good at like accommodations, getting hotels, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm the guy. Like, let me do it. So Hope's like, fine, just do it. Yeah. And so so we went to her friend's wedding, and she got like this beautiful. Hope took over that reservation thing. So she got this beautiful like bed and breakfast. It was so nice. It was in this beautiful like house. We got there. She got us massages like in the hotel, like in the breakfast B&B, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like the most beautiful thing ever. It was so nice. So now we go to my friend Jake's wedding, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to take it over. Like, I'm the guy, right? That's when I stepped in, and I'm like, oh, it's my friend's wedding. I'm going to do it. And it looked great on the photos. Now, keep in mind. All right, so the place was, I feel really awkward because now I'm not quite sure. This is my total new setup for me, so I'm, all right. So we did, so it looked great in the photos. It was in the Catskills. It was in the Catskills, in Catskill, New York. Is that a thing? But
you can't screw up the Catskills. What'd you do?
So, all right. So the really fancy hotel that the wedding party was staying at was booked up, and it was also like ridiculously expensive. And then they had like a chain, like a Holiday Inn or something, or Hilton maybe. And I'm like, oh, we're not staying in a chain. I'm going to find something like she did, like something beautiful and nice, right? And so I'm like, I found this thing. I don't remember the name, and I wouldn't want to say it anyway, but some inn thing. And I'm like, okay, this is cute. Like, it was either this thing or like a Super 8. And I'm like, no. Like, I don't want to do motel. I want to do like nice inn thing. So I go there, And we pull up, and it's like 10 minutes before the wedding. They give us, like, because we were driving, and they give us the keys to the room, and we're like, all right, whatever. We run into the room. It's a wrong room. Really nice room, but the wrong room. And I'm like, whoa, this is like, and it was significant price jumps, right? From the room I had booked to this room. So I should have just stayed in this room.
You set your expectations for what it could have been before seeing the one that you booked.
Yeah, but like the room that they gave us was like this beautiful, like deluxe room. I'm like, wow, this is really nice. But it's like we stayed at 2 beds, and I was like, I booked a 1 bed. Times were tough at that point. I could only afford the 1 bed, so I was like, oh, this is the wrong room. So we figured that out. And he's like, oh, this was your actual reservation. We go into the room, and then it was not.
So you should have just kept the other room.
We should have just kept the other room. There was like a spider in the corner. The door to the bathroom was punched in. There was a hole in the ceiling. I was like, oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. In the pictures, the room looked lovely and like rustic and cute, like the thing that she brought me to.
Rustic.
Dude, it was so bad. Oh my God. Like, no, we got back from the wedding, and you know, weddings are a whole thing. And so we got back from the wedding, and I'm like, oh, fuck, should we just drive home? It was that bad. Like, that bad. And, like, the bed was tiny. Dude, we stayed. And because she was driving, and then she was driving us back. And I was like, oh, man, like, I don't want to make you drive. I thought we were going. I literally slept like this.
Oh, that's so gross.
The entire fucking time. And it was a horrible experience. So I need to, like, redeem myself. That being said, I've moved into a new apartment.
Speaking of being in a better place.
Dude, yes. This is the opposite of that story. It looked amazing in the photos. We saw it. Obviously, we came to see it. And it was interesting. We came to see the apartment upstairs, which was the quote-unquote penthouse. Like, this building is bougie. They got, like, 24-hour doorman, which I never had, and I'm trying to navigate. So I'm like, am I supposed to go get the food when the food is delivered, or do y'all bring it up?
You go get the food.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Butler.
I didn't know that. I want a I thought it was.
You're not your damn butler, the doorman.
I thought it was leveling up. So yes, you have to get the food, and I'm still figuring out tipping because per the last podcast, I know you have to like throw them something if they help you out, kind of thing.
No.
I don't know anything.
I mean, I guess you could if you want them to bring your food up. Maybe then you could throw them some extra dollars.
Like, Watson, bring me my food. Jeeves.
Yeah.
So figuring that out, and all right, but anyway, yeah. So we originally went to see the one upstairs, and because it was said penthouse, and I'm like, ooh, baby. So we show up to see the one upstairs, and there's like a agent showing the building. We go upstairs. And it was like it was what we saw in the photos, but it was quite small. But it had a nice view of the Empire State Building, and I was like, "Ooh, I've never had a view before. That's so nice. I've only seen this in like the movies, because it wasn't those views where we had to go like crank your head to like see it. Like it was a view.
All right,
like, okay, but it was at the top of our price range. So I'm like, all right, this is like a maybe. Kind of thing. So then the dude goes, "Oh, there's another one downstairs. It's not on, the market yet. Like people just moved out. Do you want to check it out?" I'm like, then they go like the net price is like, this kind of top of our price range, but you might be able to pay the gross, and the gross was like ridiculously cheap. And so we go down here, we see this place, which is like over 1,000 square feet, gigantic place. Work it out with the people that we lock it in for 2 years at a ridiculously low price, and hopefully it doesn't go up, and it's fucking amazing. So it's an exciting day, but I will say, I remember I was calling you for like, okay, movers. How do I because they're getting expensive. Before I even called you, I'm like, I got quoted like $1,200. I got 12, and the podcast isn't doing so well yet. But so I was like, all right, what do we do? So we went ahead and like did it ourselves. And now keep in mind, we're not moving
you did end up getting movers.
We didn't get movers. We purchased a U-Haul. So all right. So look, I looked. I did this whole thing. So first, I was gonna get movers, and I was like, God damn, expensive.
Yeah.
Even when I tried to haggle with them, they basically told me to go F myself. And so then I thought, okay, what if I get a U-Haul and then hire some dudes? You know, because like it's COVID. Like all my friends that have a brain are like, I'm like not gonna do that. It's a lot of interaction with people. And then that didn't work out, so we just moved it. Me, Hope, and my dad. Everything. Her apartment, my apartment. She took her parents' car. I had my dad's car and a U-Haul. And what they don't tell you
is that was the stupidest thing you could have ever done, and paying for a mover is the best money I've ever spent in my life. And there is no price that is not worth spending on a mover, because that was a stupid decision to make.
It hurts.
Yeah, no shit.
My body.
Literally, I know movers are expensive, but it's probably the single most worthwhile thing I have ever spent money on.
Dude, after 3 days, I'm still like, dude, I took a nap today. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
I went home for Easter Sunday yesterday with my family, and I did not wake up. Like it's a big thing for like my family. Easter, like Easter's the thing, and my sister loves to wake up early. And,
I mean,
you know,
dude, do you even remember when we went and brought chairs from my grandparents when they moved, and we got that U-Haul and just moved like 2 chairs, and how like exhausting and stressful that was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
why would you think that was a good idea? So, okay, hold on. Knowing what you know now, if you could go back in time and tell yourself whether to do it or not, would you still have done it yourself?
Oh, I'd sell my first child if they needed it. I would. I'd give them all the money. They can have it. They want it all. They can have it.
Yeah.
And it's not. You know, the thing. My mom was telling me do the movers. My aunt was telling my whole family was telling me do the movers. And I'm like, oh, but I think we can do it. Like because like you said, I haven't moved in 9 years, and I'm like I didn't remember. You know.
Yeah.
And
I almost did it. For the record, I did the same thing. Everything went through my head. I was like, I'm young, I'm fit, I'm strong. Like the heaviest thing is like, such and such that can even be taken apart. Right. So why would I pay all that money when I could just like do it myself? I went through the same thought process.
Yeah, that's where I landed, and it didn't go further than that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say earlier that I had a good business plan that you made me think of with movers, but it was assuming you were going to say how tiring it was to unpack everything, not do it all yourself. So
I think that's why I'm hauling ass with unpacking, as you can see in the frame behind me, because I think it's just constant exhaustion still from the first.
Yeah.
And I'm hustling. You know?
What if there was a interior designer mixed with movers? Ooh. So not only would they move, but they would unpack and feng shui your house for you. Obviously, like you could tell them where to put things, but they would help like the bed in the right corner and the right setup to get you maximized space and like a combo purchase, so that not only do you get the movers, but then they unpack everything and set up your whole house for you or apartment. That way you literally don't have to do anything soup to nuts.
That sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat. Freaking heartbeat. I would give them all the money. They could have all of it. They could have all my money, because right now, I'm not like broke, so I could have afforded it, but I was like, oh, I'm not spending money on that.
It's a good chunk of money that makes you sit there going, that's I can do this. Now, the fun part is similar, that thought process. I thought, you know what? Moving is the start of that feeling for the rest of your life. Meaning, the move to any new apartment or place, that moment of contemplation of I can do this versus not, will follow you forever. Plumbing, electricity,
That's deep.
any work, like it starts to be that, can I do it myself and save me all this money?
But
Or
you probably shouldn't.
or you probably shouldn't, because it's like gonna kill me, probably break something, and was worth the money all along. So it's that and so far you have failed.
Oh, I sure have. I mean, all right. So here's the thing: nothing got broken. No person got broken. And no body parts were good. Just extreme exhaustion, and it took a really long time. But I would still pay people to do it 100%. I was when you were telling your story, I was thinking like, what you're saying is like, making toast or ordering it from a deli. I could make toast, or I can have someone else do it for me and bring it.
Yeah.
But this is way more intense than toast. This sucked.
Yeah, that line of what I can do by myself and what I should pay for, it starts to vary. Like younger, that it's a big gap between what I would pay for and what I could do. Like now there's not much I would do without paying for it. Because
I started to really feel like shit. So, all right, so Hope is really good at all this stuff. She's good at packing and all that. I'm not. So I was having this conversation with my parents when I was home yesterday, and I'm like, my mom found the picture. It was like, when Facebook sends you those photos of like memories, and and it was a recent one of when I first moved to Stuytown, and I was a young boy with stars in his eyes and all that, and I remember that move not being so bad, and I was like, man, what's going on? Why is this one so much harder? Like, why am I killing myself on this one? She's like, well, you're almost 30.
I was gonna
and I
say.
went, fuck, man.
Yeah.
And I like ride the fucking, I work out. It's
Doesn't
not like I
matter.
sit on my
Doesn't matter.
ass. And she's like, yeah, well, still getting older.
The same way that like you work out, you're fit, and yet when you drink, it
Oh my
hits
God.
hella
Oh my
different.
God. Can I
Like-
tell you something?
Unreal.
So, speaking of drinking, we were all right. So we were lucky enough in this apartment so that the super kind of let us bring our stuff early. So they had finished the like renovations, doing the floors and whatever, early. And the super was super cool. He was like, just text me, let me know if you want to bring, because I asked, can we bring something earlier if that's cool? Because they mentioned that it might be a thing. So I hit him up, and he's like, yeah, you can come by and bring stuff. So, 2 or 3 days prior to the big move with the U-Haul on the 1st, we were bringing some of Hope's things. And the night before, because I was helping her pack up at her place. So the night before, we started bringing her things, shuttling her things down. The awkward things that like fit in the car that you can't really pack in a box, like a big mirror or something, whatever, but not big enough to go in a U-Haul. We were bringing down, and after packing, I was like, fuck, I'm tired. This was a long day. Let me have a little bit of tequila. And we were moving the stuff the next day. Not smart. I took 4 ounces, so like basically 2 drinks worth, and I was just sipping tequila. And I had eaten. I was responsible.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I woke up so hungover that day, and moving shit in when you are hungover,
Dude, it hits different. I do not.
Oh man, it was
it's
bad,
like,
dude.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, just the like you. I think I saw something that's like you work out, you eat right, and you still die, and it's like.
Oh yeah. Dude, alcohol, it can't, like, even last night I had like a glass and a half, maybe 2 glasses of wine, and I was fucking done. I was tired. I was like, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, you get a little tipsy after like a sip, and you're like, this ain't right.
And it doesn't bode well, because I'm like, when we're walking around the new neighborhood, because like, dude, like we're in Murray Hill, right? So, you have Tonic, you have Joshuacher, you have all these bars literally like outside.
Yeah.
Like, and Empeon, the new Empeon is literally, I could see the bar from outside my window to see if anyone's busy, like if it's busy. And I'm like, oh, like it's the nightlife after the pandemic. This is gonna be lit. Yo, I don't know if I can handle it. Like,
I don't even know.
I'm not good at this. Like, I wasn't
That's
drinking.
why
you know?
I'm convinced that's why brunch is such a big deal, because it gives you ample amount of time to sleep and feel better. Because instead of doing it at night and you have only a day, like Sunday, to do it, you start Saturday, so then you have all Saturday and Sunday to feel better. Like,
dude, smart. It's smart. I can't. I feel like I can't hang, but I also haven't. I wasn't like binge drinking.
Oh
during
no,
the
it doesn't need to be binge drinking. It's just anything. 30. Well, really, honestly, I think like 26 plus starts to feel a little different, and every year you feel it a little bit more and more and more on that side.
Dude, even food, bro. Even like you eat like a
don't
certain.
Get me started on food. I don't think I've had cheese for like 4 weeks because like that shit doesn't sit right. Like,
oh, it doesn't. Same.
Like, when the hell did that happen?
Dude, it's I feel bad for anyone in the vicinity of me after eating some shit now.
But actually,
for real.
Like, actually, and we're literally 30. Like, we're not old.
No.
Like, we're not.
What's gonna happen when we're like?
Then part of me is like, am I peaking young and like I'm just gonna coast now, or is this the beginning of a horrible demise? And like I'm this bad at 30, 40, I'm gonna be like sipping the Go-Gurts and applesauce like a child, and like that's all I can eat, and I'm in a wheel. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Dude, it's bad, man. I think that I think that I hit my stride when we were living together. Like, I think that was the prime.
Oh yeah, my peak was definitely that first when we were living together. We were eating tacos, sipping tequila on a nightly basis, like tearing up the that was definitely my peak.
Dude, do you remember parties? Like having parties in your apartment? Obviously, like it's a combination of like growing up, but also because of this like pandemic. Like, do you remember how nice it was to like have people over watching a football game?
We've been funny you said that. Casey and I have been thinking about my birthday this year because I think by end of August, a good bit of our friends, would actually be vaccinated. We'll be vaccinated,
right?
And can actually have maybe people over as like a birthday housewarming party.
Dude, I'm there.
Talking about it,
you like, you have my bedroom. My bedroom's there. So.
Oh yeah. We were talking. We're like, it's crazy that like this would be like our first actual.
Yeah.
Party.
You got shafted for your, I don't know, the biggest party, the wedding. You got shafted twice in a row because of this pandemic, and after you moved into your house, dude. Speaking of, how did you feel after your first vaccine?
Fine.
Oh,
Nothing.
fuck you.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Oh, man.
Fine.
I mean, good for you. I'm glad that you didn't feel, like crap.
Well, I feel like that means I'm set up for failure for the next one.
Or, yeah, that happened. All right, so not to scare you. That's sort of what happened to my dad. They didn't have as bad of a reaction as me, both of my parents, because I think if you had COVID first, you start to, it beats you up harder. But they definitely had a bit. So you might have something, but obviously it won't be as debilitating. Like, they were only hurting for like a day, maybe a day and a half, so you should be fine. I'm also thinking this whole blank wall behind me should just be just like a huge Friends from Craigslist banner for our podcast.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think. I might get kicked out of the apartment.
But what if you spray painted it on the wall and it can't be removed?
She'd chastise me, cut things off of my body, and then throw me out of the apartment, I think.
But what if it was like a secret door, like a
apartment's not that big.
No, like you get like a really like one of those things that you got in like college that was like a tapestry.
Oh, and you can like take it on and off.
Yeah,
removable.
And then you
I
just
like
take
that.
it down for when we have our friends on Craigslist. That's like
Dude,
spray painted.
I'm down for that. I like that. I like that. I have to figure out my whole setup because this is all crazy and weird and new, and I still haven't gotten my dresser in the mail. It's coming tomorrow. So next time we do this, it'll be a little bit more put together, which is nice.
I also think if we get enough followers, so people subscribe and share and all that stuff, Friends from Craigslist is such like a catchy little thing. We will definitely make merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all need to start sharing and getting that because we'll make sure that our group gets some free shit if you guys help us do that. So.
Oh, yeah. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, add us on Insta, Friends from Craigslist. Same thing on TikTok, Friends from Craigslist.
Yeah.
Start adding that up, and we'll maybe do some. You want to do some giveaways? Maybe make some
That's
Friends from Craigslist merch and give some stuff away.
I'm thinking that's the thing.
I like that. Or like DM us, or just start following, and when we get to like at least like I don't know,
we'll hit you up.
Yeah, if you start following, we'll hit you up.
We'll make it happen if you make it happen.
I like that. I've been looking for some Friends from Craigslist merch. Like I wanted like a T-shirt. And I was thinking about making like a T-shirt or like a tote just for myself, so we could like mass produce them. Because who wouldn't want a tote bag that says "Friends from Craigslist"? It's kind of awesome, and it could be our blue. Oh man, I've got so many ideas. Oh man, make sure you continue to email us. We're still getting emails to friendsfromcraigslist@gmail.com. Keep emailing us, and when we have a few, we'll bring on the what you want to let's be honest about, and we'll do a nice little let's be honest and maybe a little jig. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yo, great to have you. Great to see you again. It's been a minute.
Great to have you too, buddy.
Give me. I want to have you. I'm going to have you now. Sounds kind of, it's either creepy, just straight up weird,
but all of
cannibalistic.
Yeah.
It's very odd. Anyway, episode 8. We did it.
In the books.
Sorry it's a day late, people.
Yeah.
It's been a poo-poo fest on my end. It's not her fault.
We're here.
But we're here for you.
Yeah.
That's why we make it happen. I look like a terrorist that's filming a video. Too soon? Too much?
We should hang up now before this goes any further.
All right, dog. Good to see you. Episode 8. We'll see you soon.
All right.